Is that okay now?
Your video is still up, ma.
I have stopped the video from, I think it's connected to my, I'm a professional HR practitioner. I've done more than 20 years in the profession, both in the banking industry, public and private sectors. Today we are taking up managing employee mental health. Firstly, we are going to do little test. I'm going to ask just a simple question. How are you today? Can somebody answer me? How are you? I need an answer. How are you? Hello?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm fine from my end here.
How are you? Let somebody answer. How are you? Answer the question. How are you?
My name is Isaac, and I am fine.
You are fine. Thank you. Can somebody else answer me? How are you? Hello? Okay, Isaac, you said you're fine. Today's topic is managing employee mental health issues. For obvious reasons, we are in an environment where the economic crunch of Nigeria is disturbing the whole part of us. And the organizations we work for, most times, they don't listen to us as HRs. Few of them do, but a whole lot do not. Today, we are going to learn more on managing employee mental health. I'm going to... Okay, we have learning, that's the content, learning outcome, overview, definition of health and mental health, common health issues, anxiety disorders, mood disorders, other common health problems in Nigeria, causes of mental health problem in Nigeria, definition of stress and work stress, causes of stress in the workplace, promotion of mental health in the workplace, how to support employee emotionally, using EAP to support or promote employee mental health, aims and objectives of employee assistance program, that is EAP. Then practices to support employee mental health, benefits of employee mental health, and summary. Now, that's the learning outcome. We said identify employees with mental health care challenges and possible ways to manage employee with mental health challenges. That's the learning outcome. Let's move on. Then we say overview. Say the current economic crunch and widespread stigmatization of mental illness has worsened the health issues among men and women in Nigeria. The concept of causation proposed that people that affected people up to some degree are responsible for their mental health. It is estimated that over 10 million Nigerians are suffering from mental health. And we should understand that this mental health has, when we are going through the whole body, we now understand whether over 10 million Nigerians are suffering from mental health or not. But along the line, we are going to unleash the different types of mental health and what they represent to us. Now, I said definition of health. I said World Health defines health as a state of complete, I marked the word complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of the disease of infirmity. Now, let's go back to my question initially, and I ask again, how are you? Can Mr. Isaac answer that question again, looking at the definition of mental health? Answer me again, Mr. Isaac. How are you? Looking at the definition, I said complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease of infirmity. Mr. Isaac, answer me. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am.
You're still fine. Okay, let's go on. You will understand why I am asking you. I will explain the reason why I'm asking how are you. Oxford defines health as a state of being free from ill health or injury, or a person's mental or physical condition, whereas the same World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of mental well-being, enables people to cope with the stress of life, realize their abilities, learn and work well, and contribute to the community. Which means that for somebody to be physically okay, that you are healthy, there must be aspect of your physical being okay, your mental state being okay, and the social well-being. Social well-being has to do with a lot with ourselves, our environment we operate with, including our workplaces. Then we said common mental ill health in Nigeria. We have anxiety disorder, we have mood disorders, we have eating disorders, we have psychotic disorder, and we have dementia. These are the types of common mental ill health in Nigeria. Let's move on. And let's say anxiety. In anxiety, we said people with this kind of disorder feel a sense of nervousness. You know, a lot of things causes anxiety. Anxiety could be that, for example, you want to write an exam. You are under anxiety at that point in time. You're tensed. Sometimes anxiety could be coming from a positive aspect of life or from a negative aspect of life. So anxiety causes the heart to beat rapidly. So in anxiety disorder, we have what we call obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. This is chronic and long-lasting disorder where a person has overwhelming recurring thoughts, that is obsession, or behavior, compulsion that he or she feels the urge to repeat over and over. We are adults here. Let me explain this so that you understand. Most times it's not really negative, it could be positive. All of us are more than 18 years. I want to cite just a simple analysis on this. There are sometimes you may have a good sex. You may have a good love making. You may be obsessed with the person, having it all over again. It is not necessarily negative, but when you now compress yourself to doing it and thinking over it, taking greater part of yourself, we now say it is obsession. You are very obsessive. Now we have panic. Panic is another anxiety disorder. It's characterized by frequent and unexpected panic attacks. Panic could be anything. Anything can panic you. Now in Nigeria, especially in Southeast, those of us living in Southeast could tell you that we cannot go out of the road without being panicked. Either you're looking out for stray bullets, you're looking out for unknown gunmen, all the rest of them that can cause us panic. You are running away from accidents, you're running away from different looting. You may be on the road and somebody may loot you. That is what is causing panic. So sometimes panic could be caused by a lot of factors within your environment or within your workplace. Then we talk about social anxiety disorder, where somebody, the symptoms of anxiety or fear in situation where they may be scrutinized, evaluated, or judged. In case of workplace, sometimes a lot of our staff do not perform well. Then they are, especially the marketing department, the marketing officers, like in the banking industry, we give them targets. Most times, those targets give them a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic. So panic to meet up with the demand to complete their KPIs. These are the things that are causing panic in the industry. That's in the workplace. We now have post-traumatic stress disorder, where that's developed in some people who have experienced shock. Now here, for instance, shock could be death of a loved one, unexpected death of a loved one that's happened to us just a few days ago. That it is traumatic to a whole lot of us. What went wrong? Some of us are not out of that trauma for now. May God rest her soul. Now, this is a lot of shocking news at this point in time that will cause you trauma. Accidents, you may have had accidents, you may have had a lot of things in Nigeria, especially in the workplace. Some people fear sack and all that. Or some people fear, there are some companies that do the reduction of salaries. Those are the things that they fear most. Some do fear bosses that are, some bosses could be something else. When you wake up in the morning, that fear of seeing that particular boss will make you not to go to work. Those are the things we are talking about. Then we have the other type, generalized anxiety. It's another condition, excessive worry, where you worry too much over little things. It's not too good for health issues. Now, we now go over to mood disorders. Now, I said emotional challenges, which can cause intense feeling of joy. It can be joyful, mania, or sadness, depression, that are hard to manage. Now, in mood disorders, we have depression. And I said here, depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and a low memory, fatigue, loss of appetite, sleep problems, and all the rest. Now, it is difficult to know whether you are depressed or not. But after this whole process, you will understand where depression is, that a whole lot of the staff are depressed, especially most of the organizations that run targets, their staff, most of their staff are depressed. Now, depression is coming from one, low salary payments. As we know now, dollar is almost 1,000 naira, high cost of feeding, high cost of transportation, high cost of housing. So all these things put together causes depression. Now, here I'm going to highlight on how to manage most of these things. Let us finish up the whole disorders first. Then we have bipolar. Some people do have this one is mood swing. 1 minute they are happy, the other minute they are sad. So it is from this depression that you get this bipolar, because when you are long depressed, you get most of these mental health issues. Then the last one, diastemic is a mild but long-lasting form of depression. It is called persistent depression. That sometimes you find somebody losing a dear one, that if that is not managed well, it leads to persistent depression. For instance, I had a colleague that lost the mother, and because where she was staying, she's a little bit far away from where we can monitor her. She entered depression. From depression, she died. So within that short period, the mother died. She died also because nobody was there to manage her depression. That was caused by location. She was damn far away from where we could have managed her. So that is it. Now we go over to other common types of that's mental ill-health. We have eating disorder. We say behavioral condition characterized by severe persistent eating. Now, some people, when they are depressed, they eat a lot. Now, when they eat a lot, it causes them to add weight. Some people, when they are depressed, they don't eat. Now, it causes them to lose weight. So I don't know where we be. Like me, if I'm depressed, I add weight because I don't even eat, but I add so much weight. One, because you don't sleep well at night while thinking. There are a lot of factors that cause this state, including, I said before, trauma, anxiety, depression, all these things cumulated to not eating well. That eating disorder can cause a lot of things. It will now cause your insulin to be malfunctioning, causing the sugar level to go high. Sometimes it is too low. When it is too low, it is bad. When it is too high, you know the implications. So it causes a lot of implications, heart attack, all those. Sometimes you have a lot of you start growing fatter than unexpected. You add weight. Somebody may be looking at you, said, you're adding so much weight. It's just because you're eating. You have this eating disorder. Now we go over to the hardest part, which is psychotic. When this depression, when somebody is depressed for a very long period of time, then coupled with anxiety and trauma, you see the person entering a psychotic disorders. That's it affects the person's normal way of thinking. That's brain function by altering thoughts, beliefs, perception, leading to a lot of things. The person will start losing reality of life. May stay for a place for a very long period of time, and when you're talking to the person, the eyelid may not move. May be looking at you for a very long, looking at a particular object for a very long period of time without blinking the eyes. The person has entered the long-term depression that is psychotic. So example is illusion, hallucination. The person sometimes the person will say, somebody just passed me now. And this, repeating words, maybe I want to drink, I want to eat. Those type of repetition is caused by depression, and is one of the mental health issue we are trying to resolve. Then we have dementia. That's loss of memory. Sometimes the person may not even recognize that he or she do have relatives or a mother or a father. My father suffered dementia for over 10 years, could not recognize that he has children. It's only me that he can call a child. Now, when others are, I don't know them. So that is dementia, and he suffered from high blood pressure for almost all through his lifetime. So after taking so much of that drug, resulted to dementia. That's total loss of memory. So that is the implication of mental ill-health and depression. Then we say causes of mental ill-health. Are you there? Is somebody listening? Hello?
Please go ahead, Ma. We are listening.
Okay.
We are here,
now we have causes of mental ill-health. Okay. We say severe or long-term stress. We are going to go to stress. Now, we said all forms of abuse, trauma, or neglect. Now, in our working environment, we do have a lot of abuses. One, we have sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is not only for females. We have male sexual abuse, where the female abuse the male. That's the truth. That one is not being said, but it is higher than a female sexual abuse. Then we have other abuses, like being too autocratic and too bossy. A lot of us are too bossy in the offices. Sometimes to wake up to go to work is difficult for a staff. That causes the staff depression, which is mental ill-health. Now we have social isolation and loneliness. Sometimes, now if you get down to Southeast, before 7 o'clock or before 8 o'clock, the streets are dry. No social form of anything. You can't go out and have fun. Those of you in Lagos may not understand. Come to East, you understand what we mean. Because of fear of the unknown, fear of all this unknown government, anything can attack you anytime. So by 7 p.m., or 7 p.m., everybody's in their houses. So this causes a lot of issues for us. Now, all forms of discrimination and stigmatization, there are some people, they do have, when they are suffering from most of these ill health or other part of ill health, say, then HIV, you know what happens. A lot of people will run away from you. They don't want to talk about it. Now, while I was in Fidelity Bank, we had a program. Instead of doing HMO, we removed ourselves from HMO because it wasn't giving us what we wanted. At a point in time, we lost 10 staff during childbearing. So it's now made management. We communicated to our management, we HR staff, we communicated and said that the HMO we are using, they are not functional. Then we now had retainership. So from retainership, the health the issue were resolved to at least 80%. We were having staff that will come to work. They will tell you when they are ill, we refer them to our various hospitals. Now we have social economic factors, poverty, debt. Now, a lot of staff do not know how to manage their resources. They now engage in over borrowing. And when you over borrow above your salary, it causes a lot of depression. Where do you pay? That's the issue. Then they live beyond their salaries. They borrow to buy clothes. They borrow to pay house rent. They borrow to take transportation. All of that. They borrow. If you look at it, you look at the trail, you find out that each month, that before 10th of each month, a staff may have consumed his or her salary. That alone causes a lot of problems. If you watch that staff a lot, monitor what I'm saying. When you see a staff borrowing, he borrowed from A, he borrowed from C, no, that staff, watch the implication. The implication is that staff is living above his means and will lead to depression any moment. So we have some programs down the line that we are going to talk about to hold forth. Now, another one I have mentioned is bereavement. In Nigeria, it is quite unfortunate. There's this program I hold. Part of my training as a health practitioner is to control grieving, mourning, how to control people mourning. Not everybody controls that. You know, a lot of people overmourn because they don't even, when they come to you, they don't even know what to do. So we have to learn most of these things to reduce depression at workplaces, even as an individual, not only workplaces. Here we are talking about you maintaining your health. By the time you maintain your health, the work environment will be a home to be for everybody. Now we have long-term physical health conditions, like accident people, like most of the e-health we are having, some of them are long-term, diabetes and all that. So most of those things can cause depression and all that. Then we are entering stress. Stress could be positive or negative. It says stress is defined by Oxford Dictionary as a state of mental or emotional state. What do I say? Resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. It could be eustress positive or distress negative. Workplace stress can be defined as an imbalance between the demand of the job and the physical or mental resources available to cope with them. Signs of stress in workplace. Signs that you will watch out for in your staff that you will know that somebody is stressed. A lot of arguments. You see staff arguing unnecessarily. Stand up, they will ask you 100 questions why they will stand up. Sit down, trouble. Do one assignment, trouble. They will argue it out. Then high staff turnover. Now in Nigeria, we are having a brain drain. We call it brain drain in human resources, where the other name is Japa. Everybody is Japa outside the country because of our peculiar situation. The economic crisis is hard, that the salary versus what we want to achieve the salary with is not enough for us any further. So it's causing high staff turnover. Some people are changing companies to ensure that they have a bit high salary pay. Then more reports of stress, more sickness, absenteeism, lateness. Those are the things you are going to watch out for. Where I am consulting, the places I'm consulting, that's the organizations I'm consulting now. One of them is having high rates of absenteeism and lateness. I did an analysis on that. I used the HR metric to give them an analysis of what absenteeism can cause to the office. So we have a result to decrease performance. When you are stressed, sometimes they don't do anything. You give any assignment, it takes long period of time for a staff to do it. So those are the issues. You see more complaints, more grievances. We in HR, we are almost a demigod in our work environment because our staff think we don't have a problem, that it is only them that will, they will come to you and tell you all their problems. However, they don't know you pass through your own problems. But then as HR personnel, you have to take it up and always tell them it's gonna be fine. So, and I said workplace stress play a critical role in mental health. Yet, what workplace stress means will vary with each company. In banking industry, it is different. In manufacturing industry, it is different. In other institutions, maybe civil service, it is different. That is what I mean by that. So, and I said causes of stress. What causes stress? One, lack of motivation or promotion. I realized that I was on a seat for 10 years in the banking industry, 10 years. And as I left, I know most of my colleagues, 15 years on a seat, no promotion, no increment of salary. So most of these things causes stress and depression. Then we have unresolved interpersonal conflicts. This is one of the major factors of depression in the workplace, where colleagues are, they fight over a little thing because of the work issue. So sometimes we have to be mindful of it and try to resolve most of these issues. If not, most of these issues, if not, it causes a lot of problems. Then we have exclusion, unfair treatment, gossip. At times, almost all the time, our management like gossip. So when you find out in a company where the management prefer gossip, it destroys a lot of things. You see most time it's they will not say the person is his girlfriend or boyfriend, all that. So most of those issues causes a lot of rancor within the environment. We have unrealistic performance expectation. The same thing, you give target, unrealistic targets. At this point in time, you ask somebody to go and do 10 billion. Where would the person get this money as target? You give unrealistic KPIs. Now, the duty of a HR is not to go through performances via KPI, to give a realizable KPI, this unrealistic performance. Expectation to remain available during time off. This one too, some companies, when they ask you to go on vacation, they will tell you to on your phone, to on everything. They will still be calling you to the office to come and do a job to the other. This is not very okay, because when you said somebody must go on vacation, allow the person to go and rest. Rest is very important for everybody working. Not even when you're not working, you have to rest your nerve, rest your soul, so that you'll be fit enough to go to work the next time. Then we have excessive workload and deadlines. You will give somebody a work by 5 p.m. and they expect the person to do it before 10 p.m. the same day. Will the person, I don't understand. Sometimes it happens. It may be all the times. You see the person running around to complete an assignment that will take him or her through the night. He or she is not going to sleep, especially those people in Lagos where traffic is dealing with almost everybody there. Thank God, maybe the effect of this fuel crisis is reducing traffic in Lagos. But other places, I don't think it is traffic we are talking about. So we have an overload of meetings. Instead of doing sometimes Zoom meetings, you'll be calling people to come from Ireland, to come from mainland, to come from everywhere, to maybe Lekki, to VI, to attend meeting. It's stressful. So we advocate as HR personnel, you advise, let most of these things be on Zoom, then reduce the number of hours, reduce it to 30 minutes, 1 hour thing, so that somebody will go back to work. Then negativity, hostility, and passive aggressiveness. A lot of people, as an individual, some people are sadists, where some do have a lot of negative vibes because of maybe family background. So when you employ such people, believe me, it causes a lot of problem. They either influence others or cause problem. So most of these things, we should be a little bit optimistic and be focused enough while recruiting. When you are doing interviews, most of those things used to appear during interview sections. Most times we ignore them, thinking that it is one-off thing. It is not going to be one-off thing, because when you understand it very perfectly well, you now know that it's going to be continuous and it will affect you and your organization. So we now have this disrespect and lack of consideration for each other. There are some companies that because of gossip, they attend to gossip a lot. You see a lot of disrespect. Because I am befriending my boss, now I disrespect the line, the rank and file, all those things. It happens. And we now have inadequate time off. This is another problem. Now we say promotion of mental health. Our general belief is that employers and managers in workplace initiative to promote mental health to support employees who have mental disorders not only in health of their employee, but also in their productivity at work. A negative working environment, on the other hand, can lead to physical and mental health problems. Most times you see a lot of people engaging in excessive alcohol and all that. I have mentioned absenteeism and a lot of productivity. How to support employee emotional. These are the areas now we are to pay more attention to. To begin, here are 4 tips to support employee mental health at work. Understand the issues. When, as a HR, you pay attention to the issues happening. When you see a staff coming late to work consistently, what are the issues? Is this staying further from the office? When you have different branches, you now send the staff to a branch home. If you're being absent from work, you now look out for what is causing it. Those are the things to look out for. Now you make mental health a priority. You as an individual, make your mental health a priority. Not the organization. The organization will try, but it's you that will pay attention to yourself. What are the things causing stress? You try to reduce them or avoid them, especially the distress. But assuming you are promoted in the office, the stress will be there, and it is a positive when it's not going to cause anything to your health system. It promotes health. The negative aspect is the one that destroys you. Be proactive about eliminating work stress. That's what we are trying to say here. We now said using employee assistance programs. What is employee assistance program management? An employee assistance program is a benefit program that assists employees with work-related problems that may impact their job performances and all that. Now, we say the employee assistance program provide assessment, short-term counseling, managing consultations, and coaching services to employees. There are 5 key supervisory roles in employee assistance program. 5. You have the educator, you have the sponsor, you have the coach or hand-holding, you have the counselor, and you have the director aspect of it. So, aims and objectives of employee assisted programs: to promote knowledge and provide education to improve both personal and organizational well-being, to assist organization in improving employee health in the workplace, and to establish effective method of care and support for everyone in the organization. Most of the big organizations in Nigeria may do this, but the smaller organizations that are trying to find their feet may not even have the money to do this. Now, what it means is that we in HR, we have to, we do a 360-degree work to cover most of these things. It is now, the onions will not be sold on us if the organization is not making use of this to cancel people out of their problems most times. Now, to cancel one person takes a lot of time. I am in one environment where they ask me, why is it that I'm using for HR to manage 30 people? And I say it's because when they do off-sites, they are hard to manage. And when they do on-site, they are easy to manage. So off-site staff, they are so difficult. A lot of companies are using off-site this time to work due to our environment issues, the environmental issues. So now coordinate them from wherever they are working from, and their performance is going to be very difficult for HR personnel. So, and I said, what are the types of services the employee assistance program offer? It ranges from personal difficulties to job stress to relationship difficulties. A lot of the time, this particular difficulty, relationship difficulty, is the one causing to a larger extent amongst the youth the problem we are having on mental issues. You know, when they have breakage in their relationship, it affects them emotionally. It takes a longer period of time to bring them out. To female folks, they feel that the world has ended because your friend left you. It doesn't work like that. Because if you start a relationship believing that it's going to last for a lifetime, is wrong. So we are trying to educate our young generations to understand the principles of relationship. It's not a do or die affair. They all put their heart, their mind there. We said love with your head and concentrate with your mind, so that when there is an issue, you come out of depression so easily. Now we have elder care, child and parenting. Some of us are working in the bank and having some children at the same time. Now, to combine both of them, where you are staying a little bit farther from the office, is difficult. Most of these things causes problems. Now, most times your child may be ill. Now, the office need you to do something. To coordinate both of them together causes stress, a lot of it all the time. So, especially the female aspect of our employees, when they have, some of them do have babies, toddlers and all that. So when they are working, they are trying to manage both the family and the work stress. Family stress is high, work stress is high. So when such an individual is not managed well, you see the person entering unnecessary depression. So, you know, then our youth, substance abuse, that's what we call here. No, all those chemicals they are taking to high up, to belong. Some of them do all those things to belong. It's destroying the youth, and their mental health status is going down because of so many things, so many factors, so many things they are doing at the same time. They take such substance, they drink, they womanize. So after all those things, their mental status starts, they attain depression so quickly. And that is why killing of human being is nothing to them any further. So when you wake up in the morning this time around, because of the situation of Nigeria, mind your business. Don't put mouth where you don't belong. So you don't know how the person woke up that morning. So to me, I'll tell you, when you see something, mind your business. Just focus on what you're doing and move on. Because you may try to get all the things there, and at the end of the day, you worsen your own situation. Now we have separation and loss. Separation as per death or loss of a loved one. All these things keep on coming. Loss of a loved one can never be overemphasized. These days, the level of death we are witnessing is extremely high. And I'm telling each and every one of us, look, we are going to witness more. Why? Because of this depression. Depression is causing people to drive roughly. Depression is causing a lot of things in our environment. A whole lot of people are depressed. You will see somebody sitting down. You think that all is well, laughing unnecessarily. Now, if you go to the person, especially maybe if you have your friend, you can't discuss, you now understand what I'm talking about. The person may not even have anything to eat for that day. The person may have lost his job. A lot of things are happening. So let's be very conscious of our environment and try to help each other, both at work and in the home. Family violence, balancing work and family. That's what I'm trying to explain in motherhood and fatherhood. It's not easy to balance it most of the time, but then some people are strong enough to do that, whereas a lot of people are not strong enough to hold that. So it causes depression. So these are the things to do. We offer constant mental health trainings to our colleagues to help them reduce stress and depression. There is high need to include mental health coverage as part of our healthcare plan. I don't know, like in Fidelity Bank, we have an office where we have medical doctors in-house. We call them in-house doctors, where we refer most of those issues before they go to external hospitals. So I don't know, for some organizations they do have, but some they don't. Now, what we beg some organizations to do is to recruit health workers among them to be taking up most of these issues, psychologists, all that. You at least one organization can have one psychologist to help, or two, to help reduce most of this depression as we speak is high. Then use of communication to reduce stigma. You communicate effectively. Whenever there is any change, you communicate, ensure that communication comes in, you talk to them. There are a lot of staff, when you talk to them, you don't even understand what you did to them, what you're going to do to them when you talk to them. Sometimes they are not willing to express openly because they are scared. But when they realize, and when they give you their information, you keep it, then they may tend to open up a bit. Where I work now, a lot of staff there are depressed. Why? Because the owner of the company is doing what I call 40% removal of some salary. Any little thing, 40% slash down. If you're not performing your performance, 40%. So when you remove 40% from 100,000 naira, you know how much it is. Now, 60,000 cannot take somebody home. It will just stop somebody on the way, as things are now. So it causes a lot of depression. Resigning is not an option because in Nigeria we don't have much work to do. We have more like a laborer work, except for some organizations that need some professionals. Otherwise, the rate of unemployment in Nigeria is very high, and it's causing a lot of problems. So we should be very positive, focus on what employees can do rather than what they cannot do. So you try to deploy people to their strengths and not their weakness. Where you know that a staff is good in marketing, you deploy that person. Where it's operations or wherever department you're operating, you check out for the person's activities and deploy effectively. You work with management. I know sometimes it's difficult, but then when you do some metrics and give them all these analysis, they will tend to listen to you because you're talking with facts and figures. So let's be doing most of those analysis, data analysis, that will enable management take some level decisions to help us do our work well. I am a bit not happy what I'm seeing in some organization I'm consulting. When they have staff handbook, they have the processes of doing things. They don't follow it. What you see, because maybe sometimes it's a one-man organization where decision is just coming from one point. With sleep and wake up, maybe having an issue with the wife or with the husband, he or she will come to work and take one decision that will affect the whole workforce. So what do? We try to, like, I know I called to one of them, I said to her, look, if this staff take you to court, you are going to, I put up some of the sections in labor law in her own handout, that's law, official laws and all that. You try to give it rules and regulation guiding their organization and that of labor. You give it out so that they know the implication of what the decision they are taking, to avoid putting staff to the edge. Sometimes they will wake up and tell you, we are going to starve this, we are going to do that, we are going to do that. No, you try to work with them to enable them fix everything properly according to stated rules and regulations with the company and labor laws. Sometimes too, in the offices, I don't know, sometimes where at my former office, what we do is we have games. We do games. Once in a year, we do games. Then, we do some preparation before the games. You allow people to do something to enable them ease off their stress. Some dance, some sing. Some offices do have choir that sings. Some do have other things that will make them feel a little bit at home. Let us do this thing because the level of depression is high. So in the society, in the offices and all that. So let's develop something that will take their memories out. Look out for those people that are not promoted. Why are they not promoted? Then you tell management the implication. Sometimes they don't listen, but put it down so that when there is any case, it will be like something that you use to defend yourself. Now you create an environment of openness. You engage them, meaningful discussions. This will help a lot. When you discuss with your colleagues, early in the morning, you call them, oh, how are you? Check out like 5-10 minutes to discuss with them. Discuss generally. Some of them don't like football. You discuss, Arsenal won today. You make them happy for that moment to go back to work. If they, like me, I like lawn tennis, I will discuss lawn tennis. I'll discuss anything that will make your staff happy. Let's do it. It will help us. Some of us as HR, we are depressed. So who will help us? God. Now, we now identify sources of excessive stress. I've mentioned this before. If it is over workload or unrealistic targets and all that, we tend to reduce it. Then when we have busy colleagues, we try to rotate staff. You change most of the staff from them and change their position too, because if they are busy enough, you now give them to the area where they have less people to supervise. That will aid that company too, or your company. Then you manage employee expectations. This is where I would say that managing of expectation is going to be, it is difficult to manage expectations because everybody wants to be promoted. Everybody wants the better part of. But then when you compare the company's productivity, that's the good things and put out, I called it. Now you now understand that carrying a lot of activities may be hampered by the productivity of the company. So like we said, when a company is now at least paying salaries for now, we should be grateful because some companies are folding because of the economic crunch we are facing in Nigeria. Now you build a culture of appreciation. Sometimes appreciation comes in different forms. It could be, oh, let's go out to have lunch or dinner, whatever. It could be an award to the person, or you send the person out for a particular training that will enable the person carry out his duties well. It could be anything, but let's do something to change the face of our staff. Now you foster a culture that value rest and disconnecting from stress. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you take out time on a Saturday or whatever. When you have maybe on a Friday evening, you take out your staff, you sing, you do something to change their mindset. Let them feel belonged, because a lot of them, when we get to the home, we are faced with a lot of stress there. So when we are happy reaching home, it will reduce that stress we are going to pass at home. So let us do it. I know it is difficult for us this time around, HR personnel, but then we are very challenged, I know, and all of us are trained to do this. So let us do it happily together. it will help us. Say benefits of employee mental health. It includes or not limited to decrease in anxiety. If you get your employee mental health well, like you develop most of the things I've said, social recreation activities or whatever. It reduces them. You communicate effectively with them. You tell them the implication of whatever that is stressing them and reduce it. They feel very belonged and they come out of depression easily when you talk to them. So managing grieving people, you like now the family of our late colleague, I don't know how to manage that grief. It's going to be difficult, but then we should make sure we visit regularly. We call them to, help them empathize. We empathize with them and sympathize with them too. So they should understand that life is the way we see it. We come once and go once too. So we improve dispositions and relationship enhancement. You reduce frictions, anything that will cause friction. Sometimes when a staff is depressed, his or her communication changes. Writing, he will be so aggressive in doing anything. Then answering question with like, oh, what he said? Why are you calling me? Oh, it's too much. No, when you try to reduce the stressors, you communicate effectively, implementing most of these things, engage them, do hand-holding, coaching them. Let their supervisor, because you as a HR cannot coach somebody in the field or whatever, but then you train the trainers, train their supervisors, do some mental health trainings. Let it be maybe once in a month, whatever you want to do to reduce it. Let them be aware that mental health is so important as we speak in Nigeria now. It is very important. So let us do anything that will take us away from stress, away from depression. When we are not depressed, we tend to do our work well. But when we are depressed, we do little and achieve nothing. Then when you are trying to communicate effectively with our colleagues and all that, you are improving their self-esteem. You tell them to manage themselves. Tell yourself to manage yourself, because when you manage yourself, you tend to radiate happiness. When they see you, they see happiness. We in HR, that's what I try to kill my own, because everybody is watching you. HR is happy today. They tend to, you laugh, you come to work, you laugh, you joke with everybody, you enter your office. Then the supervisor will learn from you. Like when they're coming to work, oh, how are you doing today? What is bothering you? You look out for most of those small things, because when you look at people, you know when they tend to deviate from their normal selves. Those are the things. Deviation, little deviation, you take it up immediately and try to resolve that is causing them problems. No, it's now immediately they have self-esteem. There is clearer thinking. They now think aright. They now decipher the truth from the bad, the ugly, the worst. They now tend to put interest in whatever that they are doing in the offices. In summary, there are affordable, effective, and feasible strategies to use. It may not necessarily be what I'm saying here. Part of it may be what I'm saying. Any strategy or strategies that you will implement in your various offices or companies to help mentally affected people. They may not know they are having such issues. They may not know. But if you try to use any strategy to promote them and ensure that they come out of their depression. Depression, I said, let me use this word. Depression has been the problem coming from stress, negative stress all around. So let's know how to use any form of any type that will suit your environment. Use it. the need for action on mental health, is very important now, very pertinent to note that we must do something. Like I said, a whole lot of people are depressed. Yes, we are. What are we going to do to help them? Please, anything you choose to help your staff, let us do it. If it is increment of salary, because a lot of companies now, they are coming up with increment of salaries, it will help out. Anything to help out, awards, anything to help out, social gatherings or all that. I am not in Lagos. I would have joined Mr. Yemi in that 5 years awards, 5 years occasion he's trying to do. In fact, I love to be there, but my engagement may not warrant me to be there. So let us engage ourselves, even when we don't have such in the offices. Please, when you are out of your office, try to do something. You can do some physical, there's some activity, there's some sporting activity to help yourself. You can do all this. I registered myself to learn how to dance. After work, I go and do 1 hour dancing to take away myself from the day's stress. I don't know what works out for you and what works out for your company. Please try to implement to help people do their work well. I say mental health has intrinsic and instrumental value. So if somebody is well, affects productivity, you see that the production will be high, but if they are low, they are depressed, it affects productivity. Mental health is determined by a complex interpersonal and individual structures. So let us structural stresses and vulnerabilities. So we should learn the habits of looking out for interpersonal relationship in workplaces. Sometimes 2 females can be quarreling. What is causing the problem is that sometimes we have people that feel they are too beautiful, and somebody is classic, and somebody wears a lot of things, competitiveness in most little areas. We should avoid most of those things, because as we speak, the kind of situation we're in does not really warrant to be competitive in anything. So you may be healthy today, tomorrow the person is no more on this planet Earth. So let us learn how to, bring everybody together using little things that will give us happiness. Let's personalize mental health. Let's ensure that our health is at its peak to enable us enjoy our family, enjoy whatever that is coming to us, live longer on earth, allow God to do the rest for us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Thank you so much. We're here. Thank you so much.
Any question? Question sections, you can private chat me, you can call me after this training. My number is there. You can, because I am trying to capture time here. I'm just running with time. But aside here, when you call me, I can give you time to speak with me. I can take you longer period to explain so many things to you, how to make make these things work out. So any other thing, you can read it up too. Google them, most of the things you have to do, it's there too for you to learn more. So learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's the most important thing. But ensure that both physical, mental, and social your social well-being is in order for you to be healthy. So if I ask again, Mr. Isaac, how are you? Are you going to tell me it is fine?
Yes, mom, I'm fine.
Yeah, I've seen when HR is depressed, a lot of the time we are depressed more than the staff. Yes, because if you're working in an environment where the management is not listening to you, it depresses. Oh, I can tell you that for free. But then what do? You don't allow yourself to be pulled down. First of all, get yourself. Not that one day you're going to exit that environment, but try to put up some form of communication via writing, because it will be used against them one day. So put it down in writing, whatever you want to get out of from your management. That's what I do. I sit down, propose, give it to them via writing. If they like, they implement. If they don't like, fine. But they know that when they know you are the writing type, that you put it down in writing. Not whatever you put down in writing stays. So they always will be careful on how not to ignore most of the things you put down in writing. So that's the thing I'm trying to say here. Yeah, I know you. I was writing about making out time. Am I to continue? Making out time, I know it's difficult, especially you living in Lagos, to make out time. But then, ask anybody then when we were in Fidelity, I think like 10 years ago, we make out time no matter how difficult it is. We make our time to go to do our practices and all that, because we have sports. You must win. If you're winning with a lot of money and all that. It makes us to do better. You just squeeze out time. Your work starts from 8 o'clock and ends sometimes in 6 p.m. Let us stick to it this time around. A lot of people are reducing their work time to 4 p.m. Fine. It will help us too. I'm just trying to respond to most of the comments I'm seeing online. Mr. Yemi, am I to continue? Mr. Isaac, how are you? Mr. Isaac Ojo, how are you again after listening to me? Are you still okay?
Yes, mom, I'm fine.
Eh? Okay.
I have a question I would like to ask you now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, you spoke about mental health. I came in a bit late, but this psychological safety we talk about all the time, can you speak to it?
Psychological what? I'm not hearing well.
Safety. In the place of work, for instance, employees would rather keep quiet than talk because there's going to be a repercussion for them speaking up and all of that, and which I believe kind of affect their mental health.
Yeah, my dear, yes, I agree with you. Like currently, it is happening in one of the companies I'm consulting. Now, when you speak, they tend to tell you, "I will sack you." But then they now force you to keep quiet because there is no job. Now, what happens all the time is when those staff, they are keeping quiet, they tend to ignore a lot of things. They are not happy doing that work any further. They just come to work. Today we are at work. Thank God we came to work. They will be eating your salaries because apparently they are not going to do their best. So that aspect, I know a lot of the time. But structured organizations do have, when you work in a structured organization, then you have a particular line of you have communication lines that you communicate and write to your supervisors. They take it up till things are resolved. It's a different thing. But you know, in Nigeria, we have majority of the employers are at the lower section where maybe one man or one family business. So taking decision there used to be fast, and taking wrong decision is always the issue. Not taking decision is still there too, because sometimes because of their personal gains, they don't want to do anything that will affect the staff positively. What they want is, we are paying you salary, you must do what we want you to do, even when the staff is telling you to let us do the other way around. Sometimes now, what we advocate, if you know that some staff can work from house because of transportation issues, let them be on site. Let them go ahead and work from their house. Whereas you have given them targets to do. Now you just monitor their targets and see whether they are productive. If they are productive, no problem. Anywhere a staff is and do his or her job, you give it to that staff. Let us reduce the question of you must be in the office, everything. It's to some of our youth now, it's affecting them. These Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas. Believe me, I don't know whether you're recruiting them. They don't want stress at all. In fact, if you talk to them the way they develop, they will ignore you and just carry their bag and move. They're like, what kind of job is this? So my dear, it's paramount to understand most of these things. Most times it is not your fault. Most times it is the environment you find yourself. The decision takers, they have more to say and more action to do. If they cannot help out, you as a HR staff will be handicapped to help out too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, what you should do is, let us do that little we can, that within our reach to do, let's do it. Because I know what you're saying. Sometimes it is difficult. When you say A, they'll be doing B. But then, the little you can to relate with your staff, do. Because I know, when I resigned from my work, that day, for 1 week, my staff didn't work. Because, you know, when you give this impact to people, it's not about work any further. We do this work. They know I'm a very strict person when you talk of work. But aside work, you now take their worries. Sometimes they will call you by 1 a.m. in the night to tell you their problems. They may not think you're sleeping. I wake up and answer your call. I'll be answering it with my good chest. I'll be yabbing you on top of it, because you don't want me to sleep. That's the way, oh, madam, I'm sorry, I didn't know it's 1 o'clock. I say, yes, because your problems are itching you. I will make you laugh over it and come out of it. So let's be our brother's keeper. That's the message. Let's help ourselves. Here in this HR mentorship, some of you do not understand what you're gaining from it. Because you're getting a lot. So sometimes you see people joking. I will laugh. I said, these are the people getting it right. You ease off, leave your job a bit, come to mentorship, joke. So we post something that will make you laugh all through the day. I was like, wow. There was one post I read one day. That day, I became the best of Anne. I was laughing like laughed from my heart. How many times have you laughed from your heart within the past 1 month? A lot of us never laugh. We just smile. And it's affecting us. But if you laugh from your heart, it takes only 3 muscles to laugh and 27 muscles to be angry. So which one do you choose? 3 muscles to laugh or 27 to laugh? I don't know, to be angry. Okay? So let's help ourselves. It's just a question of helping yourself first, helping the next person close to you, trying to fix everything. Allow God to do the rest for us. We'll be happier. Most of these topics I'm handling here, I compressed it. Stress is very wild. Most of these topics here are very, very wide topic. You can't, I just try to do little summary on them. If you take up stress can take you 1 week to finish. Stress and, stressors, they are large. It's a large topic. Then depression, this mood, mental health is very wild too. You know, those of us in health, we know what, I know what I'm talking about. It's very, very large to take it up. In fact, one of these, like depression, it's so deep to handle. But then it's going to be a continuous thing. You have to, most of you have to read up and know what is happening within that environment, mental health environment. Hello? Any other question? Thank you. Thank you very much all for listening. Thank you. Mr. Yemi,
Thank you so much. That's such an amazing learning time.
Let's help ourselves. Let's understand that depression can cause us a lot of things. So let's not be depressed. Let's be happy all the time, no matter the situation we are passing through. Let's come out of it with high hopes that tomorrow will be better. A lot of deaths are happening. Somebody will sleep and will not wake up. It's just because we are having a lot of things going on at the same time. So let's help ourselves. It's very important. Help our husbands, help our wives, help our children go out of these things. It is very important. You should go home. Anytime you go home, look at their faces. It's very important. No matter how angry you are, come to office, you look at people's faces, you know how to act, because you don't know who will carry knife to choke you the next minute because of anger. A lot of people do not know how to manage anger. So let's do it. It's going to be fine very soon. Thank you once more. I will respond to most of your messages later.
Yes, you have. And I also believe that, you know, in the process of just managing the situation where there is no psychological safety in an organization, I think because of that fear of maybe punishment or something, exactly, we kind of shortchange ourselves by not giving our best.